Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors. And this is what's called wearing your husband's sweater because you like it better than your own sweater. So that's why I'm wearing this humongous shirt. Today's exact topic is pressures and what could be challenging as you try to recover what's in the environment. And basically, to me, this screams triggers. This is a topic that could really go on forever because triggers are different to different people, and triggers are something that can be very small or very large. And I'm going to try to talk about the main ones, and I know that this is something that a lot of people worry about, so I'm hoping that this video can touch on a bunch of things. Keep in mind that there obviously are more triggers than I can talk about in a 10-minute video. The first pressure or thing in the environment or trigger that I want to talk about is the media. And I am not one of those people that thinks that the media causes eating disorders. I just think that if you are in the right frame of mind, if you're already struggling with an eating disorder, or if you're already prone to be a perfectionist, compare yourself to others, the media certainly doesn't help. The media can hinder recovery, certainly. The media can really help an eating disorder to thrive, but I don't believe that the media causes eating disorders. I think that it's more of a predisposed condition. It's something that is already either in our minds or in our genes, however you wanna put that. We may or may not develop an eating disorder, and perhaps the media triggers a certain response and furthers along an eating disorder. So just want to get that clear right off the bat. But the media certainly can be a humongous trigger, especially in today's society where being thin is the best thing that you can possibly be. And I'm sure that you have seen countless things in the media that are just so mind-boggling. Pictures of models, pictures of actresses so incredibly thin that it's frightening, that it's clearly unhealthy. Even if some sick part of your mind wants to be like that, you know that there's no way that it can be good for your body. And we see this all the time. We see these horrible pictures in the media, these media headlines about this person is X amount of pounds, this person has lost weight by doing this, this, and this. There's so many things that the media does, and it just goes right to your head, and you don't know right from wrong. I actually had a message from one of our viewers regarding the media and it being a trigger, and I just wanted to briefly touch on what she had talked about. She's from the UK, and she was saying that all over the news this past week there was a story that Kate Moss had an interview with website WWD and was quoted stating that one of her mottos was, "Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels." And this viewer's comment was really helpful, right? And it's just things like that that just make recovery seem like pointless. I mean, you see these things, and it's just people who don't even have eating disorders but have body image problems. I mean, that's detrimental. That's detrimental to your body image. It's detrimental to your mental health, for sure. The thing about the media that you have to keep in mind is it's the media. You don't want to give something like the media power over you for the same reason that you don't want to give something like the scale power over you. It's stupid news, it's the stupid television, stupid magazines, it's the media. It has nothing to do really with your everyday life. They try to make it seem like it has everything to do with your everyday life, that you need to be this and you need to be that and you need to do this and you need to do that. But it's not so. They want to sell things. They want to sell products, they want to sell magazines, they want viewers, they want people to watch their shows. So keep that in the back of your head when you're seeing these headlines and you're seeing these photos and you're thinking to yourself, what? This isn't helping me at all. This is making me want to lose weight, or whatever the case might be. I would suggest for everything out there in a day that you see from the media that makes you second-guess recovery, or that makes recovery that much harder for you, that you find something else that is the opposite of what you've seen. If you see some headline or some photo about being thin and, you know, how it's the way to be, I challenge you to go out and really find something that says differently. And it's going to be a lot harder to find something that says differently, especially in our society, especially in all the books and magazines and TV shows and movies that we see. But you can find it. I mean, there are really great things out there. If you absolutely cannot find something that says different than what you've seen from the media, grab a Post-it note, write a little note saying you are beautiful just the way you are, and slap it on whatever you just saw, whatever magazine that was. Even if you don't have that magazine with you anymore, stick it on your desk, or, you know, stick it on your folder or on your book, whatever you're reading at the time. Use it as your bookmark. Stick it on a bathroom stall. I mean, I've done the Post-it thing in the past, and I've talked about it before, but this is something different. This is sort of taking something back for yourself. It's spreading a different message. If you can't find a different message than what you're being shown in the media that day, you have to create it yourself. That's what it comes down to. If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Don't be taken in by the media. You're smarter than that. You're better than that. We're all smarter than that. If you allow yourself to be taken in by what you see and hear and read, you are sort of relinquishing your intelligence. You're relinquishing a piece of you, and it's true. It's a true statement. Another trigger I want to talk about, specifically regarding something in the environment that you can't really change, pressure, if you will, support groups and it being a trigger. I know so many people who think a support group might be helpful to them, but they keep themselves from seeking one out because they think that they're going to be triggered by the other people in the group. Or once they do actually find a support group, they don't go because they're afraid of being triggered by someone else in the group. And it's a very valid concern, and certainly people can get triggered by support groups. I did an entire video a few months ago called Support Groups and Triggers because it's a very big issue, and you know, as you guys know, I say this all the time, that I'm an ANAD eating disorder support group leader. So I have been on both sides. I have obviously been the leader of a support group, but I also used to participate in groups and be a member of groups. And I used to be very self-conscious as well. I used to kind of look at everybody else, see what their bodies looked like, see if I was sicker than them, if they were sicker than I was, if I had a right to be there. You know, it's very difficult. It's a very tricky thing. But I'm going to put the link up for the video that I did about support groups and triggers, because that's a huge pressure, and that's going to stop you from furthering your recovery and getting help if you can't even go get support from a support group because you're worried about being triggered. You can combat triggers with positive reinforcement, and positive reinforcement, as I talked about before, are things as simple as you know, putting inspirational quotes on your mirror so that you're starting your day off right. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you're triggered by your own appearance, looking out at you, you have these, you know, recovery-oriented positive things that are on the mirror as well. That's positive reinforcement. The Post-it ideas that I had talked about earlier in this video are also good ways of positive reinforcement. Having a good support person, a close friend or a close family member that really understands you or is really supportive, never makes you feel badly about yourself. That's positive reinforcement. You have their number in your phone. You can text them at a moment's notice. You can give them a call, whatever it takes. I always think good positive reinforcement is to carry a childhood photo of yourself that you just really love. You're smiling in it. You love that little girl or that little boy in that photo. Perhaps you feel very removed from that person because you think that you're very different than you used to be then. But find just a precious photo of yourself from your past and stick that in your wallet or in your purse and keep that with you. It's amazing how that can turn your mind around, because you don't want to hurt that little girl or that little boy. Why would you want to hurt that little child? And that little child is you. You're that same person. And while it's so easy for us to want to hurt ourselves or take things out on ourselves or hate our bodies or hate ourselves or think we're failures and this and that, you don't want to think that way about that little child. You don't want to do anything bad to that little child. And if you keep consistently making the connection that you are that little child, it can be really, really helpful.